something like that. Some of y'all had difficulty getting in, or it blocked you, or something like that. So I did talk with Mr. Phillips. He fixed it. We're not going to do it today, but we'll try that another time. So not to worry about that activity. It was a good review activity, but we are not going to worry about that one today, instead of letting a lot of people in. But what we do want to do is look at the wrap up on the module. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Still letting folks in. Okay, so what's today? 27. 27. We're gonna make it available. It's Wednesday. All right. I changed the date on an assignment that was already in your folder. So you may have to refresh your page in order to see it. And this, somebody yesterday said, oh, could you put the assignments in the module? Well, this one is in the module. Trying to get this person in. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to share with you where I am. So everybody log into Canvas if you're not already there. All right, so go to the in Canvas, you want to go to the section on what is my role in the ecosystem. I'm going to do a reflective activity today. And if I can, it's thinking about it. But I'm in the module under roles in the ecosystem. All right, it's doing something. All right, but not what I wanted to do, but it's doing something. Whenever I try to share, it always kind of glitches on me. And it takes a minute. All right, let me let this person in. And then let's talk about what I have up and what you need to do today. All right. All right, so in your module, you should have something that says, what is my role in the ecosystem? And you want to read through that and understand these two vocabulary words here. All right. So where you live is your habitat, and what you do where you live is your niche. So they said no two people or species have the same niche. So we're doing different things even though we're occupying the same space. So read that over, and then the activity that you have to do is this is on your next slide. All right. So this is what you have to do. You have to describe your place in the community by using the following vocabulary, meaning your house can be your community because you live with other people in your house, or you can talk about the people in your neighborhood, your community. So what is your um, role in the community? So you're in discussing this, you have to use the term habitat, fundamental niche, realized niche, and intraspecific competition. So there might be something that you're competing with. Again, if you use your home as your habitat, then if you have brothers and sisters or other people who live with you who you compete with as far as your responsibilities are concerned, that's what we were referred to that. So, and again, go back. You need the definition for those words. Come back over here and read this page again. And it does define what each of those mean. Then apply it to yourself. Okay? Apply it to yourself. So again, the vocabulary has been defined for you here. And then your job is to write a paragraph about you, your place in your community. And again, your community could just be your house, the people in your house. That's your community. Okay. So that's what we're doing today. All right. Now I want to say something too, because we just came up in the other class. Notice this it's available today. It's not due until next week. So those of you who require extra time, that's extra time, because this is something that can be completed today. Okay. So needing time beyond September 3rd is way extra time. So keep that in mind. If y'all would do the assignment when it's given to you in the time that it's given for you to do it, you wouldn't need so much extra time. Okay. All right, everybody clear on what they have to do? And again, the quizzes that we did the other day, don't worry about that. We're trying to make sure that Mr. Phillips did put that new program, Wayground, in the list of available sites, so we won't get blocked when we try to do that again. Somebody asked, why did quizzes change their name? I have no idea. These days, companies are always being taken over by some other company. So I guess that's just one of them. So now even though you still join myquiz.com, it's still the way that you'll get in. It's not called quizzes anymore. Okay. So that's something we learned. I also have us signed up to do the Gizmo Lab. So as soon as possible, we'll do one of those virtual labs as well. Okay. All right. So again, everybody is working on your niche. And then before you do that, make sure you have read the previous page so that you understand what those words are. When you're writing your paragraph, if you can highlight the words, darken, bold the words, the vocabulary words that you're supposed to be using. Okay. So read this over. It has all the words defined for you. Watch. In fact, I'm going to take a minute to go ahead and watch this crazy video.
I would Wouldn't be much of a teacher if I didn't tell you that life is tough
Let
and
me
that
slow him.
everyone's looking out for themselves in this world. That's just the way it is, people. You know, I always say that biology is ultimately about sex and not dying. Well, both of those things are more difficult than we'd like them to be because of competition. There's a finite amount of resources on the planet, so evolution drives us to compete for them so that we can survive long enough to spread our genes all over the place. And naturally, competition is a really important part of how different species interact when their habitats overlap. These interactions between species are what define ecological communities. So it makes sense that community ecology studies these interactions anywhere they take place, from a tide pool to the whole ocean, from a rotting log to an entire forest. But just because interspecies interaction is mostly competitive doesn't necessarily mean that community ecology is all about big bloody tooth and claw scenes like from cable TV nature shows. Actually, a lot of it is, but we're not going to get there until next week. For now, let's just note that competition, while prevalent and important, is also pretty dangerous, kind of a hassle, and can really hurt. So a lot of interspecies interaction is actually about sidestepping direct competition and instead finding ways to divvy up resources or other.
All right, I'm going to tell you, he's not my favorite person. You can finish watching that if you wish. It doesn't really help you with the assignment that you're trying to do, except for the fact that you do need to understand competition. So sometimes even the competition in your house, you go in the refrigerator and you get disappointed because somebody got to the thing that you wanted to eat before you did. So that's competition. How do you deal with that kind of thing? So when you do your little paragraph, those are the things you need to keep in mind. Who are you living in the house with? What is your community involved? Who is in your community? Um, do your niches overlap? What is their niche and what niche um, of the other people in the house might cause you to have competition within your house? So make sure you include that conversation as well. Competition is not one of the vocabulary words, and maybe I should have put it on there, but oh well, it says interest specific competition. So yes, make sure that that's the type of thing that you are highlighting. Okay. All right. I know there's a difference between inter-specific competition and intra-specific competition. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop talking so I can do attendance. Again, please read this one. If you wish to finish watching his crazy video, you may. Not necessary though. All right, so you do have the definitions down here. The interspecific is when organisms compete for the same in the same ecological niche. But if you go to your vocabulary list, let me go back up here at the beginning of the module, right there, you will have both. And actually, you don't. Why not? They have interspecific, but they don't have. Okay, they should. Mm, well, I tell you what we're going to do. All right, fundamental niches is here. Mhm. Mhm. All right, so I tell you what we're gonna do. We're just gonna change that to interspecific and not confuse the issue. All right, interspecific, since that's the only vocabulary that you have. We'll leave it at that. All right, so that being said, that is all right. So then you have to talk about the interspecific competition that's in your house or the habitat that you describe. Okay, leave it there. All right. So again, you're going to read that page, and then you are going to think about your house, your your community, your personal community, your place in your community. Describe where you describe the habitat. What is your fundamental niche? So you need to know what fundamental niche is and what is your realized niche. And then discuss the interest-specific competition with everybody else who's in your community. We good? Anybody got a question? Max, you good? You got that? All right, again, everybody should be working on this now, not next week, not over the holidays. You should be working on it now. And that's fine. Like I said, when you discuss your habitat, like I said, it could be your community. So it what is your role if you might be the paper boy in your community? You might do stuff for your neighbors. Um, they might depend on you to do stuff. So you can talk about it doesn't have to be in your house. It could be what is your interaction with the other people on the block. That's your community. You can be a classroom. Now, this is different because we're virtual and you all are at home. But if you had a classroom situation or a church situation where you're in a group of people and you do things together and everybody has a different role, you could talk about that. So there's different ways you can talk about habitat. So first thing you have to do is identify what you mean as habitat and then discuss it from there. Okay? So we do try to think outside the box, not be traditional all the time. I said your house because that's the easiest thing to think about sometimes, but it can be your block. You could be friends with everybody on the block. What is your relationship with everybody on the block? What do you do? What do they do? All right, so we'll stop sharing, do attendance. If you're missing any assignments, um, today's a good day to get catch up on that. Progress reports are becoming available next week, so make sure that you um, catch up everything by then. I think we're missing quite a few people. All right, again, I do take note when I'm looking at Go Guardian, I do take note of who's actually working and who's actually just logged in. And then when you ask me for extra time, can you open the assignment again? Uh, I'm questioning why am I doing that? Because what were you doing when you were given the time to do it? There is a There is no word limit. You simply need to very thoroughly include all of the 5 points. Um, in other words, it shouldn't be one sentence. It should be a story. Okay, so should be good paragraph, but there are 5 points, so it's got to be more than 5 paragraph. I mean, 5 sentences. It's a paragraph. It's a paragraph for sure. There's no word limit, but you do have to make sure that your 5 sentences, 6 sentences include the terms that are listed there. And to discuss them properly, I would say it's almost 2 sentences per term. Okay, that's just how I would do it. You're welcome. But there is no word limit. It should not be a bulleted thing. If you don't know what the vocab, somebody said, what if you don't know what the vocabulary word means? You go to the first page of the module. And okay, now that I finished attendance, I can, hold on, no, I didn't finish attendance. Go to the first page of the model, all the vocabulary words are defined. Also, examples are given for you on that page that precedes the, give me one sec and I'll share. So the meaning of the words are in the reading, and they're also on the first page of the module always has a list of vocabulary words. So everything is defined for you in the first unit of the module. Oh. Okay, give me one second to absent. Absent. Okay. let me come back here. Let's see if I can highlight that for you. Every time I try to share, it just freezes up on me. Okay. All right. So I'm sharing. Habitats are the environment in which a particular species of an organism lives. You need to consider both um, the living factors, biotic and abiotic factors. And again, you need to um, describe your habitat. All right, niche. The niche is the job that you do in your habitat. Okay, and it says no two species have the same niche. So that means, like I said, you might be responsible for washing the dishes, somebody else responsible for taking out the garbage, somebody vacuums, somebody else cleans, that kind of thing. So what is your role? Do you just take up space in your habitat? Do you have a role? Okay. And then we need to look at, are you competing for resources in your habitat? So then we get down here to, there are two types of niches. Okay, fundamental and realized. So be looking at this paragraph here to know the difference between fundamental and realized. And then lastly, talk about the competition. So this one is an example of, the raccoon is an example of him being in a habitat. Okay. Any more questions? Questions? Again, first thing you need to do is take a minute to read the paragraph and then let it stimulate thoughts about your role in your habitat. All right, and as always, if you finish everything that you have for this class, yes, you have to use all of the words. Yes, you do. And you should highlight or write them in bold when you are using that word. So yes, the grade is based on using all of the terms. So check that before you submit it. So there's 4 terms. Each one is worth about 2 points each with their description. Oh, you can use the term as many times as you like. You just have to make sure you use it at least once. But yes, absolutely. Use it as many times as necessary. Yes, I'm on the page with the raccoon, and if you were following me and I just stopped sharing, uh, I was highlighting all the words as I went along. So yes, if you all of those words are on that page. And if you come down to the bottom where it says before you go, you need to know. It defines a habitat is a place where an organism lives and its niche is its job. So that's 2 words right there. An organism's fundamental niche is the entire set of conditions under which the organism can thrive and reproduce. The organism's realized niche is the actual condition on condition used by an organism to survive and reproduce. The competition exclusion principle states that 2 organisms with the same realized niche cannot exist at constant population together in an ecosystem. An intraspecific competition is when the organisms compete for the same ecological niche. So yes, all the words are defined for you right there at the bottom of the page. And yes, you absolutely can use them more than once. Any other questions? Any other questions? And again, if you have a zero over anything, you need to try to do what you can to make those disappear. Mm, mm, um, I think I checked that already. Okay, folks, it is time to go. Anybody have a question before you